Ben McKee, West Rucker, Go Vols 24/7 here with our Around the Horn at Charles Schwab Field in the dugout today. First time all season, we're in the dugout.
Yeah, we're in the dugout.
No idea if we're supposed to be here, but we are to talk about Tennessee's 6-1 win over North Carolina on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, and it just dawned on me, this is the Ross Kivett ejection dugout, is it not?
This is the Ross Kivett ejection dugout, and hey, Tennessee's avoided this dugout 2 games now. Maybe this dugout is cursed for Tennessee. A lot of things go really well for Tennessee tonight. A really clean game for Tennessee. They corrected a lot of mistakes from that opening win over Florida State. No errors, and I believe just 3 walks. After 3 errors and 9 walks against Florida State, a really clean, all-around performance for Tennessee today. For me, what stands out the most is one pitcher, one hitter, Kirby Connell on the mound, working Tennessee out of a jam to kill any sort of North Carolina momentum, and then Kavaris Tears doing a large portion of the damage offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost for me, it's that Tennessee played a clean game. You know, one of the easiest ways for a #1 seed in any sport, no matter what you're doing, the most obvious way to make it interesting is to self-inflict stuff. It's to play sloppy ball. They didn't do that tonight. They made the plays defensively. They only walked a couple guys. They weren't even great offensively, but they played good fundamental baseball. They strung together good at bats. They kept taking bites out of the pitcher. 7, 8, 9, 10 pitch at bats. And eventually when you do that, pressure's going to burst the pipe. And I thought Tennessee offensively did that. But first and foremost, to me, it started with a clean game. When this team plays a clean game, there are some teams in this field who maybe could beat them on a day like that, but not a lot of them, and I don't think North Carolina is one of them.
No, and you know, Kirby and Tears are my MVPs for the game, and Nate Snead was really good too. We'll get to him to close out this Around the Horn, like Nate Snead closed out the Tar Heels. But Drew Beam, 5 innings, 78 pitches, I believe. I'm sure he would have liked to have gone a little bit longer. He was really good for 4 innings. The command was extra crispy, and that's kind of been a question of late with Drew. And then in the 5th and the 6th, in the 5th, he gives up back-to-back walks with 1 out, and then he digs down deep and works out of it with back-to-back strikeouts. That was a really nice moment for Drew. And then in the 6th, you know, it's interesting perspective because you had the umpire change, and I believe it was like a 17-minute delay. The umpire gets hit with a foul ball because of Dylan Dryling's exit velocity, and he's dealing with a possible concussion. They have to change out the home plate umpires, and Drew had to go down to the bullpen and throw some more pitches. And you know, I talked to Kirby, I talked to Cal Stark. I believe Drew mentioned it as well. Not sure if Tony mentioned it. I stepped out to talk to somebody else during that time. But that kind of did throw him out of sorts in that 6th inning.
Yeah, I think to be fair, if you're being as objective as possible, I do think he was starting to slip just a little bit before that happened. There were some, he got out of it, obviously, other than the Honeycutt homer later, you know, that was afterward. But beforehand, you know, a couple guys got on base, a little bit here and there, just kind of things that happened in the flow of a game, but they were barreling him a little bit better. It was the 3rd time through the, you know, they just were getting him a little bit better there when they saw him some more. But still, there's no way around it. I mean, if we're going to talk about what happens during a long inning, you know, at bat when a pitcher goes in and has to kind of sit here where we're sitting here for a while and pace and go out and toss a little bit. Well, add an umpire, you know, change onto that, and then that amount of time. It's a long time, and it's weird for a starter to have to go down to the bullpen and kind of get loose a little bit again, throw some pitches. It throws you off, and honestly, one of the benefits of Tennessee having what it has is that you don't have to take a chance. You know, you can go to a Kirby Connell who's pitched in 150 million games since he's been at Tennessee, right? You can go to Snead, who's been much better of late. You can go to Aaron Combs, right? There's guys like Marcus Phillips who would pitch all the time for other teams who don't always have to come in for Tennessee. There's Banky, there's just options there. And this is only the 2nd game. So you're able to play with some things and kind of do some other things. And Beam, in a couple other starts recently, when it started to slip, it went quick. And I think they just, for him, for the team, it was the right move, and obviously it paid off.
Yeah, and I'll say this, like I know that fans, I'm sure, would prefer for him to go a little bit longer and throw some more pitches and work deeper into the game, but that was a good outing for Drew. It was. It wasn't his best outing, but it was really good, and Honeycutt did get him for a long home run, but Drew also got Honeycutt and made Casey Cook, who a lot of people believe, North Carolina's left fielder and the 2-hole hitter, a lot of people believe he is their best hitter, and he did not have a good night tonight at all. So a really good outing from Drew Beam. Kirby Connell comes in and does what Kirby Connell does. Meanwhile, offensively, Kavaris Tears, 3-run homer.
Yep.
2-0 changeup left over the middle of the plate and deposits it into the North Carolina bullpen. That's exactly what you're supposed to do with a 2-0 changeup left over the middle of the plate. And then later in the game, provides an insurance run, I believe in the 8th inning, with an RBI double into the right field corner. I believe that's now triple, double, 2 home runs for Tears here in Omaha. He's had a phenomenal season, but it's clicking for him when it matters most, and he's earning himself some money this weekend.
There's no doubt he and Dylan Dreiling both are. They're both earning themselves money, and you know, it's just, we've said this a lot, but it's a cheat code to have a guy like him in the 6 hole. He has no business being in the 6 hole of the college lineup, but because Inslee's the righty and you want to mix it up a little bit, someone's got to go down there, and so it's him, right? And so, but when he is really dialed into what he is strong enough and talented enough. He doesn't have to get outside himself. When he just stays within what his normal speed of operation is, he is lethal. He's lethal with the glove, with the arm, with the bat. He's a very, very good baseball player. And if he played on a team that didn't have some other dudes, people would talk about him a lot more. But I guarantee you scouts know who he is. There's no question about it. And yeah, as to that pitch, that was a 2-0 changeup, which can be a really good pitch, a 2-0 changeup. Not there. That was sort of like the one that Dreiling hit the other night, the slider that didn't slide. That was a changeup that was not enough changey and too uppy.
Yeah, it was, and we need to talk about 2 more outfielders. Hunter Inslee, he does leave the game midway through, but he leaves the game because earlier in the game, to start the 2nd inning, he makes a phenomenal catch at the wall in center field. I mean, just obviously everybody's going to talk about how he crashed into the wall and secured the catch and things like that, but for me, the most impressive part was the way he read it off the bat and read the angle correctly and tracked it over his head on a line drive. That was ultra impressive. A play of the game, even though he had to leave early. And then Reese Chapman, another outfielder who has mainly served as the DH this year, he gets the opportunity. Josh Elander told me on the field after the game they felt good about his preparation. That's why he got the start, and he looked really good. He had the solo home run, I believe it was 411 feet, if I'm not mistaken. 113 off the bat. Yep. That was at a pivotal moment as well, giving Tennessee an extra insurance run. And then later in the game, he had a walk as well.
Yeah, Tony Vitello is still doing the riverboat gambling with the DH, but it's paid off 2 of the past 3 games, right? I mean, he's sitting there starting Bargo in that Evansville game, and you're like, huh, that's interesting. Bargo goes yard twice, right? And today you see Chapman in there, at least I didn't. I went, I don't know about that, but what the hell do we know? Like, I mean, he performed really, really well, and I think it's the thing to Inslee, to me, I'll be quick about this, is that I've said this before, it's not how athletic he is, it's not how fast he is, how strong he is. He's a good athlete, but there are guys on this team who are, you know, more athletic, faster, stronger than he is. He sees the ball off the bat exceptionally well, and that's why he's in center field.
His baseball IQ is elite.
He's fearless, and he sees where the ball's going. The line drives hit to a center fielder are impossible to read. Very few guys can do it really, really well. That's why a guy like, even like Tears, who's really great in right field, sometimes in center field, you know, doesn't quite see it just that lickety split the way a center fielder. It's a different thing, and Inslee has that skill. He's got that tool in his bag. It was good, but you saw the hit, man. That was violent, and you hope that you saw him stretching as soon as the adrenaline wore down. Hope he's all right. That left a mark.
And then Nate Snead, Cal Stark told me Nate Snead was Nate Snead. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, he was. I still would like to see him open up a little bit more because we all know he's got that velo in him. But, I mean, it's not like we're complaining about 98, 99, right? It's like, oh, come on, man. When you see the triple digits, you want to see the triple digits, right? But sometimes it's just not quite there. But when he throws with, Tony Vitello says this word all the time, conviction. When that guy throws with conviction, same with Marcus Phillips. When those dudes throw with conviction, you see why they're dudes. And Tennessee was never going to have the kind of Omaha it needed to have without Nate Snead being Nate Snead, and he's back to being Nate Snead.
Yeah, now in Omaha, Tennessee is sitting golden, sitting absolutely perfect. Tennessee 2-0 for the first time in Omaha in program history. They'll play on Wednesday against the winner of Florida State and North Carolina in the losers bracket. That game's going to be played on Tuesday. And then whoever wins that game, North Carolina, Florida State, they're going to have to beat Tennessee twice. They'll get the first crack at it on Wednesday. If they win that day, then they'll play another game on Thursday. If Tennessee wins on Wednesday, they advance to the championship series on Saturday. And 2-0, teams that start 2-0, 27 of the last 33 champions have started 2-0 in Omaha. So Tennessee is sitting absolutely beautiful here in Omaha. And we've got plenty of coverage at GoVols247.com. We'll have extended thoughts on our Diamond Vols podcast in the morning, so be sure to check out for that. Look out for that around lunchtime. In the meantime, all the dads out there, happy Father's Day. Hope you're enjoying this awesome run by Tennessee baseball in Omaha. And again, stay locked into GoVols247 for all the Tennessee baseball coverage you need. He's Wes Rucker. I'm Ben McKee.